All right, thank you very much. Welcome to Mastering Stock Earnings Reports via Futures with Lee Goldstein. Very excited to be here. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director for 10-Minute Trades. Don't forget also that it is possible to lose money trading futures. What we're discussing is for educational purposes, so please be careful, trade smart. And I also want to say a couple of things about my friends at Rightline. They're joining us when I'm done. Mark Sachs at Rightline Trading will be here, so make sure you stick around. This is a dual company webinar. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that is coming to the webinar and is already here. I really thank you from the bottom of my heart. We've been doing this for years together, our company, 10-Minute Trades and Rightline Trading. I remember years ago, and by accident, I found their email and I stumbled upon their website. I sent Rory an email, and it started the beginning of a really nice friendship and relationship, business relationship that we've been involved with for, I'd say, 5 years now. And it's really been a pleasure to do these webinars together, and it's a lot of fun. And, it's exciting also so that we can bring information to you that can help your life to be better. So, that's the real reason I'm here. I believe in what I'm doing. I care about what I'm doing. And number one, I care about trying to help you, our members and friends, to become better traders. So here we are for trading earnings with futures. It's something a little bit different. We're not using stocks. We're not using options. We are using futures, the NQ futures to be specific, and I'm using them as a proxy to trade the big stock earnings. When we say big stocks, we're talking, if I back up my slides, everybody calls them the FANG stocks, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google. And then we add some other companies to the mix. We're adding Tesla. We've already added them because they were yesterday. And we add Intel and Microsoft. And you know what? We're going to be looking at other ones as well. So it's been a whole incredible journey learning about trading stocks, trading stock price movement, I should say, with the Nasdaq futures. Now, I'm not going to be a big enough bragging kind of person to say that I invented this. I did not invent this, but I came up with this. At one time, we thought it was a crazy method for trading futures with earnings. And over the years, it has become a much more reliable and stable way to trade these reports. And I always like to get started by showing you some old video of what my charts used to look like when I first started doing this. So let me pull up an old Netflix trade because my charts look so goofy. I can't believe what they look like. Very tiny little candles, weird colors, and the concept, just so you understand, we used to use these zones, and when the price broke out of the zone, we wanted to enter there. It was a whole different way of doing it. When we first started trading earnings with futures, we didn't have a way to see the real stock price. And it's because I didn't know, 4 years ago, all the tools that were available to me. It was something that I discovered this whole process by accident. We were trading a typical end of the day futures trade on the NQ, and we always used to notice that at a certain time of day and a certain time of the month, there would be a big movement in the NQ futures. And of course, people are smart. We put it together and we figured, hey, look at the way the NQ is moving on earnings. And that germinated into a whole system of trading these stocks now. So like we say, but these are my old charts. When I first started, I always have to laugh when I think about it. Now we have the ability to see the exact stock price along with the futures. And so that I know the moment the earnings come out because I can see the chart. So, it's like yesterday we traded Tesla. the day before we traded Netflix, I know if I missed the trade. And I know if I didn't get my orders on the chart fast enough, I know that the trade is over and there's no chance of catching it. In the old days, I was not sure when the earnings came out. I didn't catch the trade all the time. So it was kind of a wacky, difficult, challenging way to do it, but we made enough money to keep us going so that we could perfect the system. And of course, technology has improved over the years also. And I used to use a Yahoo website to get my updated stock prices. In other words, I would have my futures charts on the left and I would have the Yahoo website on the right. And that website's delayed. So by the time I knew the earnings were out, if I hadn't already traded, the trade was over. So it was kind of funny, very challenging. We came up, I'll show you the method we came up with. It's definitely morphing into something different. And in fact, even by the next quarter, it's going to be even easier to do it than it is now. And it's been getting easier every quarter. And things change also. Right now, what we're seeing is it looks to me like trading these earnings is easier. This quarter and last quarter, what we started to see, and you never know if it's going to stay this way, because here's the catch. We started out, our company, when I say we, 10-minute trades. 10-minute trades started out, this is our 10-year anniversary, believe it or not. I haven't been here 10 years, but I've been here half of that. The company's been in business, truthfully, for 10 years. They've never blown out a trading account, just so you know. How many traders do you know that started fresh, never blew out a single account? I blew out an account. But the point is our 10-year anniversary, and we've been doing this for 5 years. And I can't believe I totally lost my train of thought. I forgot what I was going to say, so it doesn't matter. I was going to show you. We trade the news. You know, we started by trading the news. So let me show you, just give you an idea what the concept is, what we do. So we do something usually, because we have more than one setup, we trade with brackets. We put a bracket on the chart above and below the current price, and then we get pulled into the market when the market that we're trading moves. And that's an exact description of how we trade earnings. The futures are going to explode. Hopefully, that's what we're expecting when the earnings to a stock are released. So seeing is believing, right? Seeing a real trade tells you the truth. So let me show you. So here's the thing. I mean, I'm kind of excited, so I'm going to jump around all over the place. It's like I said, I love doing this, and I really enjoy when things are really going well. And I was saying, what I was saying, now I remember, is that things are changing, and they're changing for the better for us. When we first started trading, we traded news. That was our DNA. Obviously, of course, we still trade news all the time. Earnings is news, but it's a different type of news. There's no centralized release of earnings data. There is centralized release of, for instance, a grain report. So, for instance, we trade a grain report. And of course, I'm going to show you the best grain report I ever traded, because that's my job. We traded a quarterly grain report a couple of quarters ago. Our software puts the X's on the chart. I'm trading corn. This is a specific news report. That's what we do. We trade the news. The news comes out, the quarterly grain report, it explodes to the downside. That was a $2,000 trade in less than 4 seconds in the market. That type of news has a centralized release. What that means is, so that's one type of news. Let me show you another one, all right? Let's take a look at a PPI report, all right? Producer Price Index. We traded this last week, and the news came out April 13th, 8:30 in the morning. We have a special range that we set up. Price explodes out of the range. Bingo, I think I made like $300 on that trade. I was in the market for about 16 seconds. I made $305. That is also a centralized news release. The PPI news, When I say centralized, what I mean is that news you can count on when it's going to come out. It comes out on a certain day every month at a certain time. And 90%, 95% of the time, you can count on the release time being accurate. So, one of the challenges of earnings is that there is no centralized release. Hans, PPI is the producer price index. It's the price that companies pay for products. And it's a very inflation oriented report. So it tends to move very dramatically in these markets. And that's a report. We trade reports that move dramatically so that you have the highest probability for a profit. I try to avoid the reports that don't move very well and don't give you a good probability for profit. And then there are reports that just respond inconsistently. And they've been responding inconsistently for years. So, that is what it is. You try to avoid the inconsistent reports. And Hans, there's no reason to apologize whatsoever. Most people do not know what the PPI is or what it means. That's my job, is to teach people what it is. So I will answer questions as I go. Any question that I miss, I will get at the end. So don't worry about questions. So what's the typical time frame one can see a profit on these trades? Please define typical time frame. Do you mean how long you're in a trade or the time of day? Well, let me just answer. If you're talking how long you're in a trade, the longest, we call ourselves 10-minute trades. We are never in a trade for 10 minutes. I mean, we're mostly in a trade for 10 seconds to a minute to 2 minutes. Okay. Sometimes we might have our orders ready to trade for a couple of minutes, but we're rarely in the market for more than a minute, maybe two. Because that's the way we trade. We're trading big moves or fast moves in particular. So seeing is believing. What does that mean? It means that I'm putting our money where our mouth is, because we've already started with earnings, and we gave 2 free classes this week. Tesla, their schedule changed. We thought Tesla was going to be next week because I made the schedule very early in the season, and Tesla changed, and they were yesterday. So we sent an email to everyone that was on our list and invited them all into our room so they could watch Tesla. And Netflix, we invited everyone for a free intro to the trade room. And you will not see questions because GoToWebinar, I'm the only one that could see the questions. I promise I read all of them. So if you have questions, type them in. I'll make sure I ask them, even if they're hard questions. I'm not afraid of them. So seeing is believing. What that means is we are showing you real trades with real money in a real live account that we took. Okay, I'm not trading simulated money on earnings unless for some reason the market isn't safe. Everybody knows that because of the Fed, because of inflation, there have been times in the current markets where, because the indexes might be moving so much, it might be unsafe to trade, especially in a specific manner where you put an order on the chart above and below price. We had one earnings session last quarter. The market was so volatile, we felt it was unsafe to trade, and we recommended that no one trade. And the only people that traded lost money because you couldn't get your orders safely on the chart. So, it's our job to keep you safe with good advice until you learn enough so you can make your own decisions. And that's part of us being an educator. So seeing is believing. So the first thing, let me show you one thing. One of our members sent me his real chart. He made money on Netflix after the trade. And one of the beauties of people being involved with us is that not everybody has to do everything the exact same way to make money. There are multiple ways to trade, and there are multiple ways to make money. This particular member had actually lost money on his first Netflix trade, and then he made it back so that he was profitable $168 when he was done. So that was a big bonus. That's his real chart. real money. Our Netflix trade was the first earnings trade of the quarter. For us, they're the first FANG stock: Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. And they always come out, they always release their earnings first out of those stocks. So here is the truth. Seeing is believing. Here's my Netflix trade. Now, Netflix has been, I would say, one of our difficult earnings trades. Profits have been, like occasional, not as good as some of the other earnings companies that we trade. So I was a little bit, a little conservative on Netflix. I traded 3 contracts instead of 5 or 6. And here's what happened on the trade. So let me just get to my charts. I'll show you our schedule. So at 4, I know for a fact that what's going to happen with Netflix is they're going to release their earnings most probably between 4 o'clock and 4:01, and you can pretty much count on that. So my orders go on the chart before, right after the market closes at 4 o'clock. You can see the X's, and then we are keeping our orders far enough away from current price. Now, here's an interesting thing that happened with Netflix. The stock was acting really wild. It was dropping down huge. You could see it. It burst up huge. I thought actually that the earnings came out to the upside, but you notice I didn't get filled. I did a lot of testing, and my bracket, I kept my bracket big enough. The hope is to keep me safe so I don't get filled if there's these fake moves. Then the real move came, and it was what's the word? Extensive, in the sense that it finally moved the NQ. So that real trade made me $615, and I was in the market for 10 seconds tops. There's my orders. I'm waiting. Fake moves from the Netflix stock. I'm keeping my orders away from the price. Now the real stock earnings come out, and it hits all my targets. I had 3 NQ targets. Of course, I had a stop, and I made $615, $610. It's hard to see it. It's a little hard to make it out. Real screen, that's my account number, account name, and that was day before yesterday. Seeing is believing, okay? The truth is in what you see, okay? The truth is in what you see. Yesterday, at the last minute, I didn't even get to do all the testing I wanted to do. We heard that Tesla was giving their earnings. Now, Tesla is not a FANG stock, but, Tesla has something interesting, right? And if we promise that we want to try and teach something when we do this. There's something called the Nasdaq heat list, right? A heat list is like a map. Let me see if I can, hope I can show it to you. Give me a second. The reason this works is because these stocks that we trade, they make up a portion of the Nasdaq that you can see on this graphic. For instance, Apple is a big portion of the Nas, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Tesla. Okay, those are stocks that make up a disproportionate amount of influence on the Nasdaq. And that's why these stocks move the NQ futures. Okay, we are not trading options, we are trading futures. Futures, not options. We're trading the futures, the NQ. Okay, don't get confused. I'm not trading futures options. I'm trading futures. Seeing is believing. Yesterday, we got into the room. I did a lot of really quick testing. Now, the interesting thing about Tesla is in 2020, Tesla was not releasing their earnings at regular times, nor were they releasing their earnings around a time when you could trade. In fact, a couple of interesting things have happened over the period of time since we started doing these trades. Tesla would release their earnings sometimes between 4:15 and 4:30 Eastern time, and the markets were closed. So you couldn't even trade it. Sometimes they would release their earnings after 6 or between 5 and 6 Eastern time. Market's closed. Can't trade it. Then all of a sudden, we noticed Tesla started releasing their earnings like around when Facebook did, when Amazon did. And about a year and a quarter ago, Tesla became tradable for the way we do it because now they're releasing their earnings at a time that we can figure out when we can put a trade on. And that's what happened. So I was able to do enough testing yesterday. And of course, over the past year, we've been watching Tesla and on the various quarters. And I discovered what the best time to trade Tesla was. So let me show you our real live Tesla trade yesterday. And again, this is real, real money. I didn't trade it with a simulated account. So I knew that I could expect Tesla somewhere around 405. That's what I thought. Over the course of the past year and a quarter, I would say 5 or 6 quarters, year and a half, they never ever released their earnings after 405. After 405 in the last year and a half. If it happened once, that would be a possibility. I forget if it maybe happened once, but 5 out of 6 or 4 out of 5 is good enough odds for me to take a trade. That's, we're trading pattern behavior. And if the pattern behavior repeats and repeats, I am willing, and we are willing, when I say we, us and our members, we're willing to take a trade based on a pattern and a time. Because that's what news trading is, trading time-based patterns. Okay, so Tesla, my testing was right on. It was perfect. Regarding the time, my orders are on a live chart. I'm watching the clock. I'm watching Tesla stock. It's scaring the heck out of me because it's moving up and down very large amounts. And I'm saying in the trade room, I think Tesla's out. It's not out. Is Tesla out? Somebody tell me. I couldn't tell. It was really challenging, but I have faith in the technology and see how when Tesla comes out because it explodes usually, and then it explodes on the NQ, and when it crosses those X's, it pulls me in the market. And Tesla, I had a profit of $645. I was in the market for 2 seconds. That would be a lot. I had orders that were ready to be filled for about a minute. And I was manipulating those orders so I didn't get filled before the news came out, keeping them away from the price. So that's part of the methodology that we found. So I traded Netflix for 610 profit. And I showed you that chart, right? Netflix, sorry, 615, not 610. I'll take the $5 for a cup of Starbucks, I guess. And then Tesla, 645. That's my trade screen. That's a real live screen with my account on it. Okay, it's real money. Seeing is believing. We are really doing this. We are here. I've shown you a live demonstration of the Netflix trade. I could show you, and here's something fun too. Here's an old Netflix trade. Let me show you a little, and it was a baby winner. Not every trade is $600 or $1,000. This was a Netflix trade going back to 2021, July. I think I made 185 on this one. And again, see how I saw, you could see the earnings come out. Seconds before the NQ moved, my orders got filled. Right after the news came out, I was able to even move my stop to safety. Now I automate my stop move. That was a winning Tesla trade, Netflix trade, about a year ago. And I have one more. I have a real baby Netflix trade. If I can find it quick, I'll show you. If not, I'll just move on to the next piece of info, because I don't, this is a short, quick webinar. I want to show you a couple of really good things. So I don't have that. It was an $85 trade. I showed you Tesla. Tesla absolutely moves the market. The market absolutely is interested in everything that Tesla stock does. Are you trading stock moves after hours? We are trading stock earnings. These are quarterly trades. How much is the margin for NQ? The margin for NQ is $500 to $1,000 depending on market volatility and also depending on the time of day that you trade. What time of day do you have to be online to watch the market for these types of trades? Christopher, we know exactly what time. We're trading specific times for all of our trades, news, earnings. So we have trades all day long. We have trades 3:30 in the morning tonight. If somebody wants to trade the European flash, the French flash manufacturing trade, we have a trade set up for that at 3:30 in the morning Eastern time tonight. So there's trades all through the day. And in this particular webinar, I'm showing how we're trading off of specific stock earnings, but we're trading futures. We also have a free masterclass that we are offering and promised to folks for coming here today. So stay tuned. More real trades. So let me talk about, Microsoft is fun to talk about. Microsoft is not a FANG stock, okay? But it moves the market. The market makers, the people that are trading, the retail traders, they like to trade Microsoft and they're trading it and it causes the market. There's volume. Microsoft earnings affect the NQ. And even though I didn't do this particular quarter, I did not do a very good job of trading the earnings. I probably should have let myself get filled in this particular trade. I could argue that with you, but I won't. But here come the Microsoft earnings. Watch. They're going to come. Watch. Here they come. There they are. It was so fast. Let me show you. Back it up. Here they come. Microsoft came out. You couldn't even see it. It was so fast. And that was interesting because the fill actually appeared to happen before the stock moved on that trade. So that was very interesting. That was a winning Microsoft trade. One of the most interesting trades that we have is Apple. Let me explain what has happened with Apple. Let me answer one more question here. What are the trading hours for the NQ? I'm going to get into that right now. I hope it's pronounced Odegal. Yeah, they stopped the NQ 6 to 8 months ago. The NQ used to trade all day long, but it would stop between 4:15 and 4:30 Eastern time. And it would then stop again 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time. When the markets open at 6 p.m. in the evening, which they do every single day Eastern time, that market until 9:30 in the morning Eastern time, again for the market open, is what they call the Globex market or the overnight market. So the NQ futures, to answer your question, they trade 23 hours a day now. About 6 months ago, for whatever reason, whoever decided they loved us, they stopped closing the market from 4:15 to 4:30 Eastern time, and they gave us a gift. And the gift was we could trade Apple earnings reliably because Apple always, I say always, almost always releases their earnings right at 4:30. But sometimes they release it a second early. Sometimes they release it 5 seconds later, 5 seconds earlier. There were many Apple trades, and let me show you that I know what I'm talking about, and I'm telling the truth. If I show you April 28th, 2021, I'm looking to trade Apple's earnings. It's 4:29 and 22 seconds, okay? That's 4:29, 22 seconds Eastern time. Now, what's very interesting is for some reason, and I don't know why, that quarter, I wasn't trading Apple live. And I'm not sure, I don't remember why, but it doesn't matter because we trade it live every other time. This particular situation, if you watch a live real-time market before 4:30, you can see that the Nasdaq, the price on the left, it's not updating. There's no movement. because the market's closed between 4:15 and 4:30. You can't put orders on charts. You can't put orders on charts, okay? Because they're not getting sent to the broker. They're not getting sent to the exchange. Things have to be open. Otherwise, your orders just sit there. It's like putting, glue on a screen. It doesn't do anything. I mean, that's a ridiculous analogy, but it just, the orders don't go anywhere. You put them on a chart that isn't open, they're not transmitted, okay? So they changed the situation by opening the Nasdaq. Now it doesn't close from 4:15 to 4:30, makes it much, much easier to put Apple orders on the chart. And our last quarter, we traded Apple earnings. I'll show you the exact trade. I put my orders on the chart. Apple, here's the stock price, explodes to the upside, and $970 trade, 4 seconds in the market, no joke, trading Apple 970. Here's my trading screen. This is not fake money, okay? This is real money. 970 trading Apple, 1 second in the market. And let me see what else I got. So here's the reason I'm here today. We have given away a lot of free education, 2 free earning sessions, the whole bit. We're giving away a free earnings masterclass. We want you to come and do this with us. And let me entice you a little bit more. Here is a picture and a trade of Amazon. And most of these are pretty recent, a couple of quarters ago, it might be 3 quarters ago. We're not talking a weekly trade, they're quarterly. But wouldn't you want to make money quarterly? Who cares if it's quarterly or weekly or daily? It's making money is making money. This was a July 29th trade on Amazon. Here's the live trade, just so you could see it. Now, in the beginning of the webinar, I was talking about centralized releases and how when earnings, it's difficult to figure out when earnings are actually coming out because there's no centralized release. The companies themselves decide when they're going to announce. And they also, what I was saying is everything seems to be changing for the better for us, because since it started last quarter, but it used to be that Amazon, Facebook, and even Google might all release their earnings the same day, almost the same time. What we're starting to see now, and I hope it's a trend, you never know, it might be. That was, by the way, a $330 live Amazon trade, 2 contracts, nothing big, just trading it the way our members might have traded it. But what's happened is the companies are releasing their earnings now separately. So if you look at our schedule, and I'm going to get to the schedule, you'll see what I'm talking about. So I want you to join us for the next 6 upcoming earnings workshops that we're putting on. I'm putting them on. We have a session next Tuesday for Microsoft, next Wednesday for Facebook, next Thursday for Intel, also next Thursday for Apple, very different timed releases, the Tuesday after for Google, and then Amazon, May 5th. Okay, so 6 more powerful earning sessions. I will teach you step by step on how to trade each individual company in the lessons. Now, if you're an experienced trader, you may be able to immediately start trading with us. Everything that you learn in trading, you got to understand that there always is a little bit of education, a little bit of learning involved, right? So it may be the first quarter you're going to sim, okay? But here's what I'm offering. A video recap tutorial of every single trade. If we sold that for $97, right, that would teach you how to trade that particular stock earning, or would have the key tips in it. Isn't that worth $97 if you could make 300 or more on an earnings trade? We also are including the full workshop. Okay, that's a video of the class with the trade, Facebook workshop, the Intel workshop. These are all the things you get for what I'm offering here today. The Apple workshop, the Google workshop, they're all valued at $197. If we sold them as an individual class, that's what we would sell them for. Recordings of the workshops, all of them together, it's a total value of $1,576. One more time. And a bonus, the Earnings Masterclass, that is a free gift. We sell it for $4.99 on the website, and it's a free masterclass that we created for trading these earnings, okay? Once again, the Microsoft workshop, the Facebook, all valued at $197, the Apple workshop, the Google workshop. It's a value of $2,073 after you add in the bonus earnings masterclass. And in that masterclass, what we go over, the markets that we trade, the tools that we use, our setups, specific setups, the one-click range trade that we have with our software, the exact process we take, trade setups, multiple trade setups, single contract trades, how to practice with market replay, all that is in the earnings class. We are charging for the whole kit, all of the learning, the next 6 workshops, $297. We're never greedy. We always offer way more value than what we can charge. All you need to do is go to www.tradeearningsnow.com and you can join us for all of the next earnings workshops. Now, let me answer a couple of questions that people have been asking, and I'll keep going. How does this system, this is a good question, how does this system fit for someone like me that knows literally nothing about futures trading? So, Christopher, you knew nothing about driving a car, and I'm sure now you're an expert automobile driver. So why is it different or scary, any more scary than not knowing something and learning how to do it? So it's just the question, maybe the first quarter, you're not going to be trading live. Maybe you're going to be practicing, okay? But it's no different than learning anything. You're not going to know how to do it until you're taught. That's all it is. It's all it is. Do we put directional trades in NQ futures based on expectations? No. We're never trading what we think is going to happen. We're only trading what the market's going to do, not what we think it's going to do. We don't try to guess direction. We don't try to figure out if we're going to be short or long. The market takes care of it for us. What about whiplash? Now remember, I'm out of the trade in 2 seconds, Adegal. I'm out in 2 seconds, maybe 5. Most of the time, we're missing the whiplash. Hopefully, my stop is big enough to survive the whiplash. But let's not be crazy here. Every trade isn't going to work. Some trades are going to stop me out. You know, I got stopped out on natural gas last week. All right, I put my bracket on the chart. Here's my natural gas trade. I got whipped out of the trade and I lost $150. Okay, that happens. Every trade is not going to be a winner. That's trading. That's event trading. That's news trading. So your entry orders have simultaneous targets and pre. Okay, so what happens is when we get filled, our software then has specific orders, stops, yes. Okay, what about whiplash? I answered you do need a futures trading account if you want to do this our way. You have to, at a minimum, you have to have an account that lets you trade futures with chart trading so you could move orders. You could do this without our software. Okay, you could do it without our software. But it's harder. With our software, the orders are put on automatically, so you do less fumbling around. But you can. I used to do this on TradeStation all the time, and it was hard. And then I discovered this company. I went to work for them. I updated their software so it could work with earnings, and now we have a system that all works together. So what is JOBB software? Hans, JOBB software is our software that helps us. It puts orders on the chart automatically. It has stop trailing. It has moving your stop if you hit a target. It's a really, really excellent piece of software. that works with NinjaTrader, and it helps us to trade all the trades that we trade, news, after the news trades. We do all sorts of different things. We don't just do earnings, and we don't just do news anymore. We trade the market open, the NQ. We're always working on new trades and new setups because the markets are always changing. I love this is always the question that can never be answered. What are your win percentages? So, Christopher, I can't really answer that. All I can tell you is this. I can give you the same exact information that I'm going to trade with, and you could turn it into a complete disaster losing trade where I could have a winner, and Fred Willington over there in California, he could have a winner, and Bob Jones in San Francisco could take the same setup and have a loser. So the only thing that I can do is try to give you the best opportunities for profit that I can find, okay? That's the best I can do. Are our Apple trades profitable? Yes, because when we win, we generally are winning pretty big on our Apple trades. But if I wasn't making money, if I was blowing out the Jobb trading account, I wouldn't be here. I have never blown out an account in this company's account ever, and I've never even come close. What is included? I'll go over that one more time. Amy, I don't think I understand the question. Is the JOBB in wealth charts? I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. If you could retype that in. So you're going to get what we're offering is 6 live workshops. Okay. They're live workshops with me. All right. And you could tell how much I love doing this. It's just $297. The deadline for signing up is Monday at midnight. www.tradeearningsnow.com. And this is not included with our standard membership, okay? This is above and beyond our standard membership. What if I'm already a trade room member? Do I get entry? The trade earnings workshops are exclusive and they're not included in any workshops. We gave all our members multiple free earnings workshops for many, many, many quarters. And now that we've really gotten it honed into a very viable system, we decided, we earned the right to charge because we're making money with it. And we're not greedy. I think $297 to join us for 6. You saw me make $1,200 this week trading small. I did not trade big. Now, this is important. What if I don't have the Jobb software or the NinjaTrader platform? You can still trade with us. You can use any software that has chart trading. Keep that in mind. It can absolutely be done. It's harder. It's a little bit trickier. Obviously, I absolutely recommend that you use our software with us. We will provide a special discounted price on our software for anybody that takes advantage of this package. And the bonus is that you then can trade all of our trades. If you have the Jobb software, it's also a discretionary trading software package. It's not just for trading the way that we trade. You can use it to trade the way you trade. Okay. So how much is the software? There's various prices. We're going to put together a deal for people that come in after this. We have our software is $149 a month normally. We also bundle it with our trade room, but you can always ask us about this. For today, we are truly here looking for the www.tradeearningsnow. We want you to join us for 6 trading sessions. The deal is ridiculous, folks. You've seen the trades. The trades are awesome. I'm not going to lie. Of course, not every trade is going to work, but we have a system that is really, really, really working well for us. And no, the software is not included for $297. The 6 sessions are included. Like I said, we have plenty of people that trade and do what we do without our software. So it is absolutely possible to do. We are trading the knowledge of learning, teaching the knowledge of learning how to do this. If you think that that's what you're paying $297 for, that's not very much money. And when I say you can do this, if you can put brackets on your software, then you can trade this with us. It's not that complicated. www.tradeearningsnow.com. Ninja Trader is available from their website, www.ninjatrader.com. Our members love us. One of our members made $825 trading Facebook with us last quarter. And here's what he said. His name is Larry F. I know him. I know exactly who he is. You've helped me understand how the markets can work during news. I always like to take something and tweak it, and I never knew earnings could be this interesting to trade. Before coming into 10-minute trades, I'd occasionally see the NQ move substantially shortly after the 4 p.m. hour, but never knew why. I really learned a lot from 10-minute trades. I have to finish up another nice testimonial. 1,230 for the week from 10-minute trades, not too shabby. Took my trading to the next level using their software. I'm able to determine what time I need to trade and be profitable. Remember, 10-minute trades, our whole concept is time and trading. So get the Q1 Trade Earnings Workshop package. It's just $297. You can join us, learn all about how to do this. www.tradeearningsnow.com. This expires Monday night at midnight. So I want to thank everybody so much for listening. Let me just go over there. Any last questions? Any last questions? It's just $297. The knowledge of knowing how to do this is worth way more than what we sell it for. $297 is a steal. There's no reason why you can't learn to do this and learn to make money with us. And that's our goal, is so that you can do this with us.